Imagine a near future where disease is obsolete and our physical world operates with machine-like precision. At the forefront of this vision is Professor David, a prominent voice championing the convergence of artificial intelligence and nanotechnology to optimize human life and our cities. Building this society requires a massive surrender of our most intimate biological and cognitive data. A stage director named Bayet attends one of David's lectures and asks a simple question. If this system requires the very essence of who we are to function, who is actually in control of it? David's vision feels less like a prophecy and more like a pitch when he hands Bayet his business card. When Bayet's hacker friend Mia decrypts the code, she doesn't find a simple email address. She uncovers a living dossier. This encrypted file contains David's exact genetic predispositions, logs his detailed blood tests, and calculates his precise life expectancy down to the year. The promise of total global health relies on extracting an exhaustive, hidden layer of deeply personal biological information from the population. To test the boundaries of this tracking, Bete and David run an experiment. They leave their smartphones at home, turn off all connected devices, and deliberately avoid known Wi-Fi networks as they move through the city. When they check their encrypted files later, their physical locations, new choices, and random interactions have been logged perfectly in real time. They carried no GPS, no Bluetooth, and no cellular connection, yet the surveillance system maintained a constant, unbroken lock on their every movement. This diagram shows the concept of a digital twin. A digital twin is a composite profile so comprehensive it uses a person's exact biometric blueprint, including their blood type and DNA sequence, to identify them anywhere. Surveillance has moved past the devices we carry in our pockets. The human body itself has become both the password to the system and the tracking beacon. This diagram illustrates the infrastructure powering this grid, the Internet of Bio-Nano Things. Here, microscopic devices interact with biological matter to monitor the body internally. To achieve global coverage, these invisible geometric sensors are stealthily distributed through everyday vectors, like food, water, or engineered viruses. When an investigative journalist named Oliver gets too close to exposing this network, the system protects itself. It orchestrates a fatal car crash to silence him permanently. The attacks escalate against the remaining investigators. Using an 8Q communication network, the system deploys a directed energy weapon against Bayeti. A directed energy weapon, or DEW, uses focused microwave radiation to target specific individuals, resulting in severe physical harm, like temporary blindness. To ensure beta is neutralized, the network remotely accesses Professor David's laboratory equipment in the middle of the night. It synthesizes Beta's DNA from her stolen biological profile and physically plants it at Oliver's crash site to frame her for the murder. The network does not passively record data. It possesses the physical, microscopic infrastructure required to actively attack, frame, and eliminate anyone who threatens its existence. The system operates on a framework called neurocapitalism, extending its reach beyond physical tracking into the human mind. Neurocapitalism is an economic and political model that seeks to extract profit and control directly from human neural activity. This diagram shows how the system achieves cognitive control using mRNA reprogramming and optogenetics. Optogenetics is a biological technique that uses light to control cells in living tissue, typically neurons, that have been genetically modified to respond to specific frequencies. The researchers experience this nudging power firsthand. While trying to access encrypted files, Mia suddenly realizes she already knows the complex passwords. They have been placed directly into her consciousness by the network, forcing her to cross ethical lines against her will. This control extends to physical vitality. When Beate's healthy father suddenly drops dead, the team realizes it was a targeted biological assassination triggered remotely by the nano network. Tracking where a person goes, or what they buy, has become secondary. The final frontier of this surveillance apparatus is dictating what you think and mathematically deciding the exact moment you die. The architect behind this project isn't a rogue corporation. It is a global initiative known as the All Health Agenda. This movement carries the endorsement of the Chief, a figure recognized as the highest moral and ethical authority on Earth. By leveraging very real, pressing fears about overpopulation, resource scarcity, and climate change, the architects justify a centralized totalitarian control grid under the guise of saving humanity. This diagram illustrates the mechanics of the citizen score. The algorithm continuously evaluates a person's worth to the planet by weighing their daily behavioral, health, and financial metrics. If a person's score drops too low, indicating they are a liability to Earth's sustainability, the system initiates a planetary triage. It can digitally freeze their bank accounts, restrict their movement, or use the bio-nano network to silently eliminate them. Modern tyrannies maintain control by replacing traditional armies with invisible algorithms. Professor David and his team realize they are now trapped inside a digital panopticon. A panopticon is a system of control where inmates never know exactly when they are being watched, forcing them to constantly police their own behavior. Ironically, it is built on the research David spent his life championing. In a desperate final gambit, Mia turns to a newly released, highly advanced language model called G to ask how to dismantle the Prometheus project. The AI's response is blunt. The system relies entirely on its secrecy. To have any chance of surviving, they must expose the truth of its existence to the global public before the net closes around them. As artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and genetic engineering rapidly converge in our world today, the boundaries of privacy are dissolving. We must establish legally protected biological privacy right now, or risk losing the cognitive free will required to fight back tomorrow.